Sir, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, slight point of disagreement with you, sir, on that. In the verdict, which I'm sure you have read in great detail, the Supreme Court verdict cancelling the licenses says that Raja did not consult the finance minister or the officers of the finance ministry. The minister, that is Raja, was conscious of the fact that the Secretary of Finance had objected to the allocation of 2G spectrum at the rates fixed in 2001. He did not consult the then finance minister or the officers of the finance ministry. If I take,
No,
that means Raja was acting as on his own.
No. That is not correct. In fact, Mr. Raja had specifically, all those documents are on record, had written to the Prime Minister pointing out that this is what he is doing. After the Prime Minister wrote to him saying that spectrum should be auctioned, thereafter Raja told the Prime Minister, no, he is not going to auction the spectrum, he is going to give it at 2001 prices on this distorted method of first come first serve, by which first to comply with the letters of intent were made first, and that even that first come first served was made a go by. He also informed the Prime Minister that he is preponing the cut-off date, thereby cutting out a large number of applicants, etc.
No.
The finance minister also was put in the loop, and there are several documents which are on record to show that even on 15 January, just after the letters of intent were given, but before the licenses were given, the finance minister examined the matter and said that, well, yes, so far as this is concerned, this is now a closed chapter, and for future we can auction.
The point is tonight, the fact is that this passing the buck must stop. We have seen, haven't we, Navik? This passing the buck, which has become a singular, trait of our governance. I think we have a follow-up question for the distinguished chairman of the TRAI joining us today, because you see, the TRAI, present TRAI chief, with all respect, you blame your predecessor. The government blames Raja. Raja blames TRAI, and is a vicious circle. Navika has another question for the TRAI chairman. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, coming to you. Just coming to you in a bit. Yes, Navika.
Well, important, again, an observation in paragraph 70 of the judgment, and which I would like the TRAI chairman to really listen to. He says he became the TRAI chairman in 2009, but he was telecom secretary before that, and he would remember this particular observation that has been made by the Supreme Court says the exercise undertaken by the officers of the DoT between September 2007 and March 2008 under the leadership of the then Minister of Communications was wholly arbitrary, capricious and contrary to public interest, apart from being violative of the doctrine of equality. Now, the government's defense so far has been that they did it in public interest. Auctions always raise prices, and therefore auction route was not recommended, and it was the issue of keeping the prices low for the customers that was paramount. Mr. Sharma, the question really here is that in September 2005, the government came out with new guidelines, a new license document was created. The FDI norms were changed from 49% in the NDA regime to 74% in the UPA regime. Why then is only the first come first serve policy of the NDA government being blamed at this stage?
No, you see, you are talking of the December 2005 guidelines, but before that, let me just clarify to what Mr. Arnav has stated that, look, I am not blaming my predecessor. I only said that these were the decisions taken by my predecessors and his team. Therefore, there is no question of blaming anybody. Right. Coming back to Ms. Kumar, your question regarding the December 2005 guidelines. These were actually issued pursuant to the change in the FDI guidelines, and therefore it was in order to bring those guidelines, bring those changes of the FDI guidelines into the picture. That's all. This was not a policy decision taken on US license guidelines or anything like that.
Well, the recommendations dated 28th August 2007 became the basis for Raja to further his policy.
If the policy was not correct, you could have changed it.
Precisely. But let me go across. Let's extend the debate further. I want to get in Lord Meghnad Desai. Lord Meghnad Desai, why do you feel sorry for the corporates who have broken the law?
Listen, it's very simple that what we're having here is various people blaming each other or not taking the blame. At the end of the day, people who got licenses are now being told the licenses are cancelled. And so if you thought you were doing bona fide business in India, you suddenly find out 2-3 years later that because the minister was corrupt, you no longer have a business at hand. I mean, this is no way of doing business. India is being watched by the whole world to see whether the law of contract holds in India, whether we can do business seriously. What they say is that you can't do business seriously in India.
No, why do you say so?
There is no guarantee.
Why do you say so?
There is no guarantee there is a serious business in India.
No, do you agree with that, Pinaki Mishra? Because just a week back, the Supreme Court upheld the Vodafone case and said the Income Tax Department had no jurisdiction to levy tax on overseas transactions. This actually shows that the rule of law works, doesn't it?
Well, Arnab, let me first tell you that it's much more pleasurable to watch your program on TV than being strapped to a chair here. So I must tell you that you have to somehow try and rejig this format of yours.
Thank you. Please continue.
But anyway, now that you brought me into the program, let me just start by saying that this is a savage indictment of the political class cutting across political spectrum. That's number one. That's the politician in me, that's the member of parliament in me speaking, and the opposition MP speaking. Because the Supreme Court has clearly held that the migration from the auction to the first come first serve was per se discriminatory. Now that means there was a BJP telecom minister who ensured that migration way back in I think 1999, and therefore it's a savage indictment of everybody starting from that stage. That's number one. It's a bitter pill, there is no question. As a lawyer, I'm dismayed that this bitter pill has to be swallowed, but again, as a member of the political class, I understand that perhaps this bitter pill is absolutely necessary for the future. I think in the future, foreign investors as well as Indian businessmen are going to be very, very careful that there is no crony capitalism involved in a deal, or at least even a perceived crony capitalism deal will be, they'll shy away from. I think foreign investors are not going to look at India as a destination for sweetheart deals.
Why?
Where, sweetheart deals can be picked up easily. They will look at each deal, scan each deal very, very cautiously in future. Perhaps it is necessary. And I think, therefore, it was a bitter pill. As a lawyer, I'm dismayed for my client. I know the kind of privations that they will have to undergo now. Not really for any fault of theirs, because I really believe in the case of, one of the license holders that I represent, that there was really perhaps, no wrongdoing on their part. And I think we'll be able to argue that successfully in court.
You buy that line? I mean, besides being that lawyer, when there's crony capitalism, it's being played both sides, isn't it? And I also want Ravi Shankar Prasad to respond to the point of first come, first serve, because I understand. But Pinaki Mishra raises the question of first come, first serve. This is not about just the auction route or the first come, first serve. It is the implementation, Pinaki Mishra, of the first come, first serve that was flawed.
Also,
like changing the cutoff dates,
yes,
which benefited everyone, including your clients.
The policy has been frowned. I believe the policy has also been frowned upon, Arnab. I believe the policy, the migration itself has been frowned upon by the Supreme Court. And really that brings into question all the licenses. It's not just this tranche of licenses, which have the 122 which have been cancelled, because all the licenses prior to this, which have been, granted under the first come, first serve basis, really on the basis of today's judgment, come under a cloud, to my opinion.
Well, Pinaki Mishra, since I have the unique pleasure of having you strapped on your chair, I must have you hear the response of Ravi Shankar Prasad to that one. Ravi Shankar Prasad, you agree with that? The whole system is corrupt. The whole system is corrupt, but not the corporates. The corporates are the simple and innocent bystanders, poor things got stuck in this unholy mess that the political class has created. That's the basic argument of Meghnad Desai and Pinaki Mishra tonight. Sorry for simplifying it. Ravi Shankar Prasad.
First of all, I must clarify, I did not appear in this case as a lawyer at all.
Yes, okay? You didn't. I know that.
Therefore, I have no caveat to add.
Yes.
As far as Mr. Meghnad Desai is concerned, maybe the stock of some company would have gone down, Arnav.
Yeah.
But the index of India's integrity has gone very high today. And that's why we are proud of Supreme Court, that the people who want to do business in India must know that rule of law thrives there. We have got a very vigilant opposition. very aggressive media, proud of our democracy. Therefore, even if you try to manipulate into sweetheart deals, you will suffer the consequences. And if that message has gone, the index of India's integrity has gone very high. When Mr. Kumar Ketkar has a problem in politics and law, Mr. Ketkar, what I am raising is the accountability of constitutional propriety and governance, where the Prime Minister is head of the team. First come, first serve was manipulated. That is mentioned in paragraph 77, Roman 9, as to how even that was manipulated by Mr. Raja. You recall or no, in October 2003, our government insisted that henceforward Finance Ministry shall be involved in the spectrum pricing to secure the best return for the government. Now kindly see three instances, which we have discussed earlier as well. I need to recall that. The Delhi High Court quashed the cut-off date by Mr. Raja. You may recall or no, after they granted the license, Swan and Unitech offloaded a portion of their equity. 1,500 crore total license fee, they got 5,000 crores and 6,000 crore only by offloading a part of those deals, what the foreign investor, Mr. Desai, is talking about. The government has a chance to know about it even then.
Yes.
The finance secretary of the then Mr. Chidambaram,
yes,
who is presently the Reserve Bank governor, in November 2011 publicly said to the telecom secretary as to how you are going without auction or market mechanism.
Yes.
These are the background. Why Mr. Chidambaram has not been commented today, Mr. Bhushan, whom I must congratulate for doing a very good work, and Dr. Swamy, the reason is very simple, Arno. All these letters of the Prime Minister who are before me, where he did not take any action, was also before the Supreme Court. The same was the case of Mr. Chidambaram's letter.
But the Supreme Court has not indicted the Prime Minister. One minute, but the Supreme Court has not said anything about the Prime Minister. Not a word in the today's judgment.
Yes, therefore I'm coming. Or not, just a minute, 1 minute only. As far as Chidambaram is concerned, they knew that they are referring the matter to the 2nd of February before Mr. Saini's court. Therefore, I think they were right in not making any comment, except to reject the argument of CBI that the role of Mr. Chidambaram did not be investigated. As far as Mr. Prime Minister is concerned or no, let me again come to the point. Will the Prime Minister, as head of the government, will owe some responsibility? And let me give one example of Bajpayee ji.
No.
In 1998, Mr. Bhuta Singh, as an independent MMP, was supporting the Bajpayee government in the first term.
Sir, don't make a